Bang. What is the deal?
Another week. Amen for that.
Another week working from home.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Charlie and Ponyo.
Yeah, take 700.
That's Charlie, and this is Ponyo.
I'm trying not to look at my phone.
So you know what I realized? A lot of people, they hide behind their devices, or they hide. When they're presenting, I realized people tend to hide. They hide behind a lectern, or they hide behind PowerPoints. PowerPoints is, I would say, the number one form of, I guess, what do you call it? Putting people to sleep in any form of presentation. And that's the problem. We are hiding behind our devices way too much. Simple as that. And I think if you're presenting to, whether it's a big group or a small group, do not hide. Especially using PowerPoint as an excuse and hide behind 10,000 slides. That is freaking boring. I'm just venting here.
I'll challenge that and give you the flip side. So if you are talking to points on a PowerPoint presentation and you need to get information across, then that information is better shown as a visual as opposed to talking through. So if you've got an Excel spreadsheet with a couple of columns, it's easier to talk to the slide than it is to rattle off. Okay, so in the left A, we're talking about blah, blah, blah. And in column B, we're talking about, it's easier to say, okay, so from a visual representation point of view, this is what A represents and B represents. Talk through the slides, talk through the bottom. It's not about, I think what you're talking about is a lack of confidence in a person's ability to be able to present what they're talking about from a like a word or dialect perspective.
Yeah, but I do agree with you. Having the figures or the tables to back up what you're saying, that helps. It's the whole point of having a PowerPoint or any form of medium is to support what you're saying. And it also tailors to different people when they are trying to obtain information. People might be visual.
100%, but and I hear if you're putting a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, you put a slide up and you're just reading the PowerPoint that's on the screen. That's not a presentation. That's just rereading what people are already reading in their mind and not giving the people a chance to be able to digest the information, the true source of the information, the true message of what they should actually be getting from the slide. So if you've got 5 bullet points and it's a busy slide, they should only be taking a few messages. They should only be taking one real message of what each slide is, because it's the same. It's the true adage is that if you've got a slide deck, people will only remember less than 20% of the information on the slide deck.
Do you know what I call that?
If you go back to people and you ask them what was on every single slide that they saw, they won't remember it. But you ask what the core message is, and hopefully that's what they remember. And so that's the through line that needs to be across the presentation. From my perspective, could be wrong, but there needs to be a through line message and an underlying 20-second elevator pitch message on every single presentation.
Yep.
So that if someone walks away with only knowing one thing from the entire presentation, that's the core message that they take away knowing, and it should be on the first slide and it should be on the last slide, because people only pay attention to the intro and they pay attention to the last thing.
Of course.
All the numbers and all the bullshit and whatever it is in the middle doesn't pay shit. But sorry, that's just me venting.
Do you know what I call the type of presentation where they're reading verbatim word for word on the PowerPoint slides?
What's that?
I call that an audio book.
That's true though, because it's
No, I've seen slides where it's like a whole novel on one slide, and they're just reading it.
Well, busy PowerPoint presentations automatically put me to sleep. I go into screensaver mode when I see a PowerPoint.
Absolutely.
I read the first word, the first sentence. I read the last sentence, and I don't read anything in between because
I don't read anything.
Because I've got better things to think about.
But they say usually in terms of tips for presentation, they said maximum you should only have no more than 20 words.
Yeah, that's true.
which I agree with.
I don't like busy PowerPoint slides.
No, don't have time for busyness. Anyway, that's just me venting.
So,
What else?
10 weeks into work from home.
I cannot believe it, double digits. This is going to be the norm, working from home, I have a feeling.
Yeah, I hope so.
I don't mind it.
I just, the main thing for me is that, you know, if you're working from home and you've got a rainy day like you do today, and it's probably going to rain tomorrow, and if I was working in the office, you'd have to drive into the office and you'd have to,
Get out of your warm bed,
yeah,
put on your work clothes,
yeah,
commute to work, whether it's by
slave
car
into
or
work,
train,
touching all types of door handles and elevator lifts and
cookie jars.
rubbing your eyeballs and getting COVID. Or you could be staying from home.
Uh-huh.
You could be working from home.
I know where
And
I
so-
would be.
The funny thing for me is that people that call in sick when they're working from home, I just find that completely ridiculous. Because yeah, the flip side of that is that it's raining tomorrow. You can wake up in your bed. It's nice and warm. You can still grab your laptop, bring it onto your fanny,
What?
knock out a couple of emails, knock out a couple of phone calls, but just do them while sitting up.
Mm-hmm.
Have a semblance of work, adherence, some coherency about working.
Block out your calendar.
Block out your calendar with meetings and blah, blah, blah. I haven't said that for a while. And just, doing the bare minimum.
Yep.
But, Yeah.
And you know what, like you
and saving your annual leave hours.
Exactly.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah.
Saving your annual leave. Exactly.
You save your annual leave for when you're feeling. Oh, well, in Australia, you get annual leave.
Yeah.
Lots of parts of the world you don't get that shit. But you save your sick days for when you feel better. I think they said that in kindergarten cop.
Absolutely.
No, I've always been a fan of that because, you earn the right for sick leave. So take it when you feel good. So you can go to the beach. You can do cartwheels in the street with your bum out, all that type of shit. But I don't know. That kind of leads to the next point I wanted to talk about because I'm just like on a rant now, so I might as well keep ranting. And it's an interesting point about stuff like that is like people thinking about like respect.
What do you mean?
Like respect is automatically given.
Because of their age, because of their status, because of their
Title.
No, I don't agree.
Yeah, I was going to say. Is respect given or earned? Discuss.
Earned, definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely. Regardless of your title or gender or status or your bank account, nah. That means nothing if you don't. And not only that, if you don't give respect to other people as well, if you don't reciprocate that respect. But what is the definition of respect?
Oh, it's, the ability to...
Be courteous.
No.
It's being mindful
Yeah.
of your behavior, but other people's behavior.
And it's about having a sense of, having achievements and people understanding that, you've accomplishment. There's a sense of accomplishment there.
Yeah.
And
You don't have to like them.
no, but and that's
That's a kicker.
kick.
That's a kicker that you don't have to like them.
It's not about but it's not about liking or bowing down or
No, sucking up to them. No.
having even like a deference to them or anything like that. A respect where respect is due. I think that's probably one of the greatest sayings
Yep.
ever. It's not about being deference to power or using adjectives in a certain connotation. It's about if people have accomplishments and they have earned a right to the placement where they are, then they earn a certain level of adoration's too high a word, but I guess the word for it is respect for their accomplishments. Like, I don't know. Like, if you look at a brain surgeon, for example, I mean, and an accomplished brain surgeon, they're respected in their field as an accomplished brain surgeon. They haven't gotten there just through pouring vodka on someone's head and making them better. They've studied, they've gone through all the trials and tribulations that have formulated that part of, their soul to an accomplishment where people recognize it as something that should be held above something else.
Would you still respect somebody that's been handed the silver platter?
A silver spoon in their mouth?
Yeah. Like, for example, Kylie Jenner, the Kardashians, right?
Oh, the dirty word.
Ooh, we said it. We promised to each other we weren't going to talk about the Kardashians, but here we are. She was named on Fortune? That she's one of their top.
She's a billionaire or something,
exactly.
Right?
Self-made, that's it. Self-made billionaire. But there was a lot of controversy around that because people were saying, well, hang on, how do you be self-made when your sister made a sex tape? Obviously, the money came from somewhere. Now, my question is, do you still respect Kylie Jenner to be a billionaire at such a young age?
There's a lot to unpack in that question. Do you respect Kylie Jenner for being a self-made billionaire? I'd probably say yes. Just on if it's a yes or no question, I'd probably say yes.
But do you agree with that statement?
No. But yeah, I would respect it just because it's probably saying more to the team and the people that she surrounded herself with to be successful than she is in herself. But it's the same thing with, you go with it, her sister Kim Kardashian. So you wouldn't so she made a sex tape. So you wouldn't necessarily think of her being like a successful role model, but she surrounded herself with the team and with people that knew how to make her successful and be able to grow that. And if you're talking about capitalist dollars, I guess, then that's what if that's what success is, then her and by default Kylie Jenner are probably successful, but their lives are probably just as bad as everybody else's. Let's be honest with you. You know what I mean?
But you know what it is. I'm with you on that. I do respect them, and I'm pretty sure.
No. So it's a different thing. So I respect them
As
earning the billions of dollars. I don't necessarily respect the way they earned it.
But you know what it is as well. They're clever. They're clever in terms of having you're absolutely right, having a good entourage, and they're being able to leverage off certain opportunities. And that you got to give credit where it's true.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And but you just got to milk that for what it's worth while you can, because that shit doesn't last forever. At the end of the day, there's going to be, you know what I mean? Like, looks, especially with what they're coming from is like the looks and the vanity and the narcissism that they're coming from only lasts for a certain time cycle or time period before it just cycles again into, they kick out the old, bring in the new, and it becomes something.
Of course.
Something else. Something else is going to kick in. Watching some weird show on mute right now. It's like some weird naked people. Anyway, it's not a porno.
What is it called? It is important. The naked people on the show.
What the fuck is this? Oh, Adam looking for Eve.
Ooh.
It's
a
TV show from Germany.
Reality TV show.
Yeah,
where they're on a desert island. Oh, I love this, and they're all naked. Oh my god.
Oh man.
And they've got subtitles. Ooh.
He's got a nice pair of titties.
Oh my god.
Dude's got some dirty ball sack though.
Oh yeah. Oh, look at this guy that's about to come on the island, babe. Oh my god, he looks like a motorbike, a bikie. a Harley Davidson bikie.
Oh,
Oh
nice
my god. Sorry.
Good news came for me last week.
Ooh. What's that, Charlie?
So Zack Snyder, a director, he directed Man of Steel. He directed 300.
Sucker Punch.
He directed Sucker Punch.
That's a good movie.
Dawn of the Dead was his first movie. He was on a live stream on Vero watching Man of Steel. Like he's doing a watch party because when you're on COVID
That's what you do.
duties, you watch movies while...
From the luxury of his theatre.
Yeah.
His own theatre.
But also he's got hundred thousands of people just watching along with him saying, okay, so I'm paused at this area in the movie. When you get to this area, let me know. And then when in 5 minutes we'll unpause it and we'll watch it together. Which is pretty cool.
And the Superman?
He watched it.
With
and
Superman?
At the end, yeah, and then at the end, Henry Cavill, who played Superman in the movie, came on, and there's a whole bunch of fans that came on the call, and they asked him about the infamous Snyder cut of Justice League.
So Justice League is with, correct me
DC.
if I'm wrong, with DC, with Wonder Woman,
Batman.
Aquaman,
Yeah, Batman.
Batman, Spider-Man.
No,
No, not
Flash.
Spider-Man. Superman.
yes.
Yes.
And so Zack Snyder. So the backstory is that Zack Snyder directed Man of Steel. He directed Batman vs Superman. It didn't do too well in the cinemas. He was set up to direct Justice League.
Yeah.
So he was directing Justice League. He wanted to do 2 Justice League movies, part 1 and part 2. He locked down Justice League part 1, finished it, and then he's had a family tragedy where his daughter committed suicide, and so he then had to bail from the movie. And then so Joss Whedon, the guy who directed the arch nemesis movies of that, which is Avengers, which did like billions of dollars, he finished the reshoots, and so he came into Justice League and directed the rest of the movie and finished the rest of the movie, and then they released it under Warner Brothers, and then the movie bombed because it was
Do you think that's
a hybrid of Zack Snyder's movie, Joss Whedon's movie, and Warner Brothers executives saying this is where they want the movie to be, and it became this hybrid of this giant piece of shit that was the cinematic universe of DC.
But do you think some part of it was rigged?
Verse.
Not rigged, but some part... It doesn't make sense for a director that... The second director that came in to reshoot the rest of the Justice League, he made... What you mention earlier?
Oh, he made Avengers.
Exactly, and
Avengers 2 as well, I think.
that did really well.
He directed like Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
So the fact
and
that
all
he
sort of
came in and not destroyed, but had a different vision to Zack, I don't know. I just find it really hard to believe that he didn't do that well.
Oh, it's because Zack Snyder was a completely different filmmaker than Joss Whedon, and so if you get 2 different director styles and you try to meld them into one, it doesn't
It's gonna clash.
cohesively make any sense, and especially if you've got a studio that's meddling with the movie, and then all of a sudden you've just got executives that don't know shit about a movie.
They're just
trying
there for the
to-
dollar sign.
Yeah, trying to make a movie, and they completely fucked it up. But so that was 3 years ago, and so ever since the movie came out, everyone had a hashtag with release the Snyder Cut.
Because he had enough material to
Yeah.
perhaps put something together.
Yeah, well, and so year after year, the crowd grew louder. You had people buying advertisements in newspapers.
What?
You had people buying airplanes that went over Comic-Con with a giant banner on the back saying hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
These are true
Yeah.
hardcore fans.
And then a year ago,
Yeah.
on the 2nd anniversary of Justice League, you had Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, all the original people, Jason Momoa, all the people that were originally involved in the Justice League original movie saying, release the Snyder Cut.
So they got on the bandwagon and go,
Yeah.
yeah, come on, Zach.
Yeah.
And then?
And then, yeah, the Warner Brothers guy. So apparently there's a THR report saying that,
THR?
the Hollywood Reporter.
Uh-huh.
So apparently the Warner Brothers executives were starting to listen to, or ultimately, because the funny thing is, so Warner Brothers is owned by AT&T, which is a huge corporation. And so they gave a directive because they're making a streaming service to compete with Disney, Netflix and all that. And they were saying, well, we need some content. Zack Snyder, show us this cut that you've got. And so he apparently brought them over to his house. He showed them a 4-hour cut of his movie.
Yeah.
No visual effects. So it's like bare bones of this movie.
Yeah.
And they were like, we'll chuck in an extra $20-30 million, get this finished, and we'll release it on HBO Max next year. How about that?
As a movie or as a TV series?
Oh, I think it hasn't been defined yet, but they're just saying they'll throw some money at it and say, finish the visual effects, the ADR and stuff, and get it out there.
So this was announced at the viewing party.
Yeah, earlier this last week.
So this broke the internet,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
Wow.
Not like Kim Kardashian's,
for
but
all the nerds.
for the nerds. But I think a lot of people hated Zack Snyder's movies. I always liked them.
I don't mind them.
I mean, we watched a couple before.
Yeah, we watched rewatch Sucker
Dawn
Punch.
Sucker Punch and Dawn of the Dead.
They were good.
I always liked his style.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people hate so much on his...
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's too dark and it's too blah,
Can't
blah, blah.
please everyone, babe. As
Yeah.
a director, as an artist, you can't please everyone.
But I think it's the same thing with like some of the other movies or directors. Is there's a vocal minority that's very vocal, and it drowns out all the rest of the other people. But long story short, Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League is coming in 2021.
Oh,
HBO
watch
Max.
out. Watch out. Geeky Charlie's on the roll.
Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Oh, good job, Charlie. Well done.
Anyway,
That's it. I'm gonna cuddle up in my bed and watch these naked people. Ooh, yeah. That's it, guys. Have a good week. Be good.
yeah, we won't have to do another 700 takes.
No. To 701. Bye, guys.
Have a good week.